the Class 1 police secret to managing blind bends with total precision. One of the biggest challenges any rider faces is the blind bend. You can't see through it, you don't know what's waiting on the other side, yet somehow you still need to make good decisions. Today I'm going to share with you one of the most valuable techniques I learned as a Class 1 police motorcyclist that can help you manage blind bends with far more confidence, precision and safety. Stay tuned. Hi folks, Carl here from Let's Ride Bikes and welcome to sunny Crete. I'm going to take you with me on a little bit of a ride this morning. We're going to have a ride down to the beach. But while we're doing that, I thought I'd talk to you about another little topic what we learned during my time as a police rider, and that was dealing with blind bends. So, have you ever entered a bend thinking everything looked fine, only to discover halfway through that it tightened up unexpectedly? Or maybe you've come around a corner and found a cyclist, a horse rider, a tractor, loose gravel, or even a vehicle partly in your lane. The reality is that blind bends aren't dangerous because they're bends. They're dangerous because of what you can't see. The good news is that advanced riders don't rely on luck. They simply use a technique that allows them to constantly read what the bend is doing and adjust their riding accordingly. And once you understand it, you'll never look at corners quite the same again. Now, one of the biggest misconceptions in motorcycling is that good cornering is all about speed, lean angle or bravery. Well, I've got news for you, it isn't. In fact, when I was riding with the police, nobody was interested in how fast you could go round a bend. What mattered was how accurately you could read the road and how effectively you could manage risk. And the key word here is information. The more information you have, the more options you have. The less information you have, the more cautious you need to be. And that's especially true when approaching a blind bend. Now here's the simple question I want you to keep in mind throughout this entire video. Can I stop safely within the distance I can see to be clear? And that one question can transform the way you approach corners. Because if the answer is no, then your speed needs adjusting. Now the technique I'm talking about is called limit point analysis. Now don't switch off because this sounds technical. The concept is actually very simple. The limit point is the furthest point of the road surface that you can see ahead within your lane. And on a straight road, it's obviously a long way away. And as the road bends, that visible point moves closer. And what makes this so useful is that the limit point is constantly giving you information about the shape of the bend. Think of it as the road talking to you. If the limit point starts to move away from you, the bend is opening up. If it remains roughly the same distance away, the bend is maintaining its shape, and if it starts coming towards you, the bend is tightening. And that information tells you exactly what your speed should be doing. So the best riders don't wait until they're in the bend before they start gathering information. They're already building a picture before they arrive. Look at the hedgerows, look at the tree lines, look at telegraph poles, look at road signs, look at gaps between buildings. All of these things can give you clues about where the road is heading. And sometimes you'll know the bend is tightening before you even get there. Sometimes you'll spot a sequence of bends rather than a single corner. Every piece of information helps, and every piece of information reduces surprise. Now this is where positioning becomes incredibly important. Not because we're trying to ride like racers, and not because we're trying to maximise speed, but because positioning can dramatically improve what we can see. If a small adjustment within your lane gives you an extra second of vision, that's hugely valuable. And that extra second could be the difference between calmly dealing with a hazard and suddenly reacting to one. In advanced riding, we often say position for vision, because vision buys information, and information buys time. Here's another key point. Many riders choose a speed before the bend and then try to stick with it. Advanced riders do the opposite. We continually adjust. Think of speed as something you feed into the bend as information increases. As your view improves and the limit point begins moving away, you can smoothly add speed. As information reduces, you hold back. You're constantly matching your speed to what you know. Not what you hope, not what you assume, but what you know. So let's imagine we're approaching a blind left-hand bend. Initially, our view's restricted. The limit point is relatively close. So we're holding a speed that allows us to stop safely within the distance we can see to be clear. As we enter the bend, the limit point begins moving away. Our view starts to open up. The road is telling us that things are improving, and at that point we can gently feed the speed in. Now imagine the opposite situation. Halfway through the bend, the limit point suddenly starts coming towards us. The bend is tightening. The road is telling us, be patient, hold back, to let the bend reveal itself before adding speed. Now the beauty of this system is that it works whether you're riding a scooter, a touring bike, an adventure bike, a super bike, or even driving your car. The road doesn't care what you're riding or driving. The principle remains exactly the same. Now one mistake I often see is riders entering a bend based on confidence rather than information. The bend looks easy, the road looks familiar, the weather looks good, and they commit too early. Another mistake is focusing too close to the bike. If you're staring at the tarmac directly ahead, you're missing valuable information further on up the road. And perhaps the biggest mistake of all is following another rider instead of reading the road for yourself. Their decisions may not suit your view, your skill level, or your machine. Always ride your own ride, and always read your own road. So the real police secret to managing blind bends isn't bravery, it isn't corner speed, and it certainly isn't taking risks. It's understanding that every bend is an information gathering exercise. The more information you have, the more precise your riding becomes. So next time you approach a blind bend, don't ask yourself, how fast can you get through it? Ask yourself, how much can I see and what can I stop in? Because when you start riding on information rather than assumption, blind bends become far less intimidating and far more predictable. And that's exactly what advanced riding is all about. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, as it really helps the channel. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more advanced riding tips, touring advice and practical roadcraft based techniques. And if you'd like to support the channel and get early ad-free access to videos, exclusive content and rider training resources, check out the Let's Ride Bikes Patreon page using the links above and in the description below. Thanks for watching, ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one. don't forget, let's ride bikes.